Hello everyone, welcome all to English Up. So today we'll learn verb. Verb can be defined as a word that denotes the action of the subject. Basically we know verbs are divided into two categories, that is main verb and auxiliary verb. But here we'll study the three main classes of verb, that is transitive verb, intransitive verb and auxiliary verb. A transitive verb that indicates an action that directly passes onto the subject. For example, he built the house. In other words, transitive verbs are those that have objects. In change of voice, only transitive verbs can be changed into the passive voice. Second one is intransitive verbs, those whose action does not pass onto the object. In other words, intransitive verbs do not have objects. A number of verbs may be transitive or intransitive according to the sentence in which they are used. For example, he strikes the ball. Here strikes is transitive. The clock strikes. Here strikes is intransitive. Ring the bell. Here ring is transitive. The bell rings. Here rings is intransitive. An intransitive verb sometimes takes a cognate object that is closely connected to the meaning. He ran a race. Here a race is the cognate object. I have lived my life. Here my life is cognate object. An auxiliary verb is not used alone but helps another verb to form a voice, tense, or mood. For example, I am driven, I shall inform, you may go. The auxiliary verbs are be, have, do, may, shall, will, etc. Some intransitive verbs do not make sense without a predicative adjective or noun equivalent. For example, she seems ill. She soon become angry. This is what I foresaw. Such verbs which cannot have a complete predicate are called verbs of incomplete predication. For example, be, seem, become, be made, be support, be called, be named, etc. A few transitive verbs are incapable of giving complete sense without a predicative word. Thus, they are also verbs of incomplete predication. Parliament made the member as a chairman. The drink made him ill. The doctor pronounced him. In addition to dividing verbs into the three main classes, we can group them under strong, weak, and finite verbs. Strong verbs are those that change their spelling and sound in the past tense. Example: teach, taught, catch, caught, etc. Then weak verbs form their past tense by the addition of ed, d or t to the present form. For example, in present look, past looked, past participle looked. Present fear, past feared, past participle feared. Present spend, past spent, past participle spent. Then finite verbs are always limited by the person and number of the subject in the sentence. For example, he goes. Here the subject he and the verb goes are in third person singular number. Verbs in their basic forms expressing simply the notion of the verb without any object are called the infinitives. For example, to love, to hate, to be, to see, etc. Verbs have a special quality denoted as voice. Voice points out whether a subject in sentence acts by itself or is acted upon. Thus, there are two voices for all transitive verbs. They are active voice and passive voice. The most important and useful quality of the verb is its tense. All verbs are grouped under three modes, that is, the indicative, the imperative, the subjunctive. The indicative mode. It generally denotes statements and interrogation. For example, he will come immediately. Did you attend? Then the imperative mode is used for commands or entreaties, that is request, in the second person only. For example, shut the door, forgive him. Then the subjective mode. It is almost extinct in the modern English. The subjective mode is used to show something that is thought of as being desirable, or likely to happen. For example, God save the king. I wish I were you. They wondered if he were the culprit. If that were so, I should be annoyed. The following verbs with an infinitive without to are used as subjective equivalent. For example, may, might, shall, should, would. May you be happy after all your sorrows. Thank you. For more exciting videos, please like, share and subscribe.